Every used car ad talks about low miles and clean interiors, but none mention the brutal truth about transmissions. What if I told you that your dream car will bankrupt you faster than any accident ever could? That's not dramatic. Transmission failures destroy more families financially than crashes do. Imagine finally buying that car you've wanted for years, only to discover that every drive is a gamble with a $5,000 repair bill. In this video, I'm breaking down the 20 used cars that will drain your bank account in 2025. And trust me, the number one choice will shock you. It's so poorly engineered that it sparked the largest automotive lawsuit in recent history. Watch every second because this isn't just a review. It's the difference between reliable transportation for life or becoming another victim of catastrophic transmission failure. Number 20, Nissan Pathfinder, 2013 to 2014. The Nissan Pathfinder from 2013 to 2014 marks our entry into the world of nightmare transmissions. And it's a perfect example of how corporate cost-cutting can destroy a once reliable nameplate. These models are notorious for a specific and widespread CVT issue that drivers describe as a judder or shuddering sensation during acceleration. This isn't a minor annoyance that you can ignore. It's a telltale sign of a failing, continuously variable transmission that's about to leave you stranded. The problem became so common and predictable that it permanently damaged the Pathfinder's reputation in the used car market. When you feel that distinctive shudder, you're essentially feeling the transmission eating itself from the inside out. The CVT fluid breaks down from excessive heat, internal metal components begin grinding against each other, and eventually the whole system fails catastrophically, often while you're driving down the highway. Number 19, Chevrolet Equinox, 2018 to 2020. The Chevrolet Equinox from 2018 to 2020 proves that transmission problems aren't just an issue with older vehicles or budget brands. These relatively recent models have such serious and dangerous issues that General Motors was forced to issue multiple recalls for transmission fluid leaks that could literally cause vehicle fires. Think about that for a moment. The transmission is so poorly designed that it can burn your car to the ground. Beyond the obvious fire risk that could destroy your vehicle and endanger your family, owners report constant trouble shifting and total transmission failure occurring sometimes before the odometer hits 50,000 miles. Imagine buying a car that's barely 3 years old, still making payments, and facing a complete transmission replacement that costs more than the remaining loan balance. Number 18, GMC Acadia, various years. The GMC Acadia, equipped with the problematic 6T75 automatic transmission, shares the same fundamental design flaws as several other General Motors vehicles, creating a pattern of failures that spans multiple brands and model lines. This isn't an isolated problem. It's a corporate-wide engineering disaster that has affected hundreds of thousands of vehicles. Owners frequently experience hard shifts that feel like someone rear-ended them, delayed engagement into drive or reverse that can be dangerous in traffic situations, and that distinctive shuddering sensation that signals expensive internal damage is occurring. The root cause is often a broken wave plate inside the transmission, a critical component that, when it fails, sends metal fragments throughout the entire system, contaminating the fluid and destroying other components. Number 17, Nissan Murano, 2011-2013. The Nissan Murano from 2011 and 2013 continues Nissan's unfortunate streak with CVT failures, demonstrating how a manufacturer's commitment to flawed technology can destroy multiple product lines simultaneously. These aren't isolated incidents affecting a few unlucky owners. They're systematic failures that occur with such predictable frequency that used car dealers often won't accept these models as trade-ins. Owners report violent lurching during acceleration that can be dangerous when merging into traffic, transmission fluid leaks that leave puddles wherever the car is parked, and complete transmission failure due to overheating that occurs without warning. The CVT design in these vehicles simply cannot handle the heat generated during normal suburban driving, let alone highway use or mountain driving. Number 16, Infiniti QX60, 2014. The 2014 Infiniti QX60 proves that luxury badges and premium prices don't protect you from transmission nightmares. As Nissan's upscale brand, you'd expect superior engineering, better quality control, and more durable components. Instead, the QX60 uses the exact same problematic CVT technology that's failing across the entire Nissan corporate family, just wrapped in fancier interior materials and sold at luxury prices. Consumer feedback for this specific model year was absolutely dominated by transmission complaints, with owners reporting grinding noises that sound like metal being shredded, violent jumping during shifts that can cause whiplash, and complete failures that leave families stranded. The transmission typically fails around 93,000 miles, which is unacceptably early for any vehicle, but particularly insulting for a luxury SUV that costs $40,000 plus when new. Number 15, Mini Cooper, 2003 to 2006. The first generation Mini Cooper CVT is widely considered one of the worst transmissions ever installed in a production vehicle, earning a reputation so terrible that it's become legendary among automotive mechanics for all the wrong reasons. Owners and technicians universally describe it as junk that slips gears without warning, shifts so roughly it feels like the car is being attacked by an invisible force, and fails prematurely, often well before the 100,000-mile mark. The manufacturer initially claimed the transmission fluid was lifetime and never needed changing, a statement that proved to be completely false and potentially fraudulent. The fluid actually needed changes every 30,000 miles to prevent catastrophic failure. But by the time most owners discovered this critical maintenance requirement, their transmissions were already damaged beyond economical repair. Number 14, Toyota RAV4, 2001 to 2003 and 2019. This entry proves that even Toyota, the undisputed gold standard of automotive reliability worldwide, isn't completely immune to transmission disasters when corporate pressure and cost-cutting override engineering excellence. The early 2000s RAV4 models suffer from a faulty engine control module that causes harsh shifting violent enough to snap occupants' necks, hesitation that can be dangerous when entering traffic, and jerking motions that ultimately lead to complete transmission failure after about 100,000 miles. The 2019 model year is also plagued with widespread transmission issues and low-speed vibrations that make the vehicle unpleasant and potentially unsafe to drive. It's genuinely shocking to see Toyota appear on this list twice, given their legendary reputation for building bulletproof drivetrains that last for hundreds of thousands of miles with basic maintenance. Number 13, Toyota Highlander, 2017 to 2021. The Toyota Highlander's inclusion might genuinely surprise people familiar with Toyota's sterling reputation for reliability, but these newer models have faced such significant transmission problems with their 8-speed automatic that the issues became impossible to ignore or cover up. The problems became so widespread and severe that they sparked a major class action lawsuit against Toyota. Representing thousands of affected owners, owners report grinding noises that sound like the transmission is destroying itself, delayed and harsh shifting that can be dangerous in traffic situations, hesitation that leaves drivers vulnerable when merging or passing, and even unintended acceleration, a terrifying prospect in a family SUV weighing over 4,000 pounds. Toyota issued multiple technical service bulletins attempting to address whining noises caused by defective internal components, but many owners report that these fixes are temporary at best and often make the problems worse. Number 12, Hyundai Sonata, 2011 to 2014 and 2016. The Hyundai Sonata from these model years faced such serious and dangerous transmission issues that federal regulators were forced to mandate recalls for transmission shift cables that could detach completely while driving. This meant the car could move unexpectedly in any direction, even when the driver thought it was safely in park, a dangerous safety defect that put families at risk in parking lots and driveways. The 2016 model is particularly notorious among automotive technicians for transmission slipping that makes acceleration unpredictable and potentially dangerous, delayed acceleration that can leave drivers stranded in intersections, and abrupt shifting violent enough to cause whiplash injuries. Repairs for these systemic problems typically cost between $2,000 and $4,000, which represents a devastating financial blow for owners of what's supposed to be an affordable mid-size family sedan. Number 11, Honda Odyssey, various years. It's genuinely painful to include Honda on this list given their well-deserved reputation for building reliable, long-lasting vehicles that families can depend on for decades of service. However, certain Honda Odyssey model years have serious transmission problems that include jerky shifting violent enough to spill drinks and cause motion sickness, and delayed acceleration that can leave families dangerously stranded in traffic situations. These problems are part of Honda's broader transmission troubles during the early 2000s, when their engineers experimented with new designs that proved to be fundamentally flawed and inadequately tested before reaching production. The failures often occur when families are depending on their minivans most, during long road trips, when loaded with passengers and cargo, or in stop-and-go traffic situations. If you're finding these transmission nightmares as shocking as I am, make sure to subscribe because the top 10 gets even worse. Number 10, Honda Accord, 1998 to 2005. While modern Honda Accords are generally reliable workhorses that can easily exceed 200,000 miles with basic maintenance, the 1998 to 2005 generation represents one of Honda's darkest transmission chapters and a complete departure from their reputation for bulletproof reliability. The 2003 model year stands out as the absolute worst offender, with nearly 1,000 documented complaints about complete transmission failure, slipping out of gear while driving, and rough shifting that can be violent enough to cause whiplash. These aren't minor inconveniences that owners can live with. They're complete system failures that leave families stranded on busy highways, often in dangerous situations. The transmission problems typically manifest as sudden loss of forward gears, slipping that makes acceleration impossible, and internal damage so severe that repairs are usually not economically feasible. The average repair cost approaches $2,700, which often exceeds the vehicle's remaining market value by a significant margin. Number 9, Volkswagen Jetta GLI and Golf GTI, various years. Volkswagen's direct shift gearbox DSG transmission sounds impressive and technologically advanced in marketing materials, with promises of lightning-fast shifts and improved fuel efficiency. In real-world ownership, however, it proves to be an expensive nightmare that can destroy your budget and leave you stranded without warning. The system combines the worst aspects of manual and automatic transmissions while delivering the reliability of neither. Drivers experience jerky and erratic shifting that makes smooth driving impossible, delayed engagement that can be dangerous when entering traffic or making emergency maneuvers, and the transmission randomly entering limp mode without warning, a safety feature that limits power and speed but often activates inappropriately. The root cause of most failures is the mechatronics unit, which acts as the transmission's computerized brain and hydraulic control system. Number 8, Kia Forte 2019 Plus. The newer Kia Forte demonstrates that transmission problems aren't exclusively an issue with older vehicles or legacy designs. Modern engineering can create entirely new categories of mechanical disasters. Both the CVT and dual-clutch transmission options have documented failure rates that would be unacceptable in any other industry, with some CVT units failing catastrophically as early as 12,000 to 25,000 miles of normal driving. For the GT models equipped with a supposedly more robust DCT system, owners report burnt clutch smells that indicate severe internal damage, grinding gears that suggest metal-on-metal contact, and replacement parts that are back-ordered for 6 to 8 months due to the overwhelming demand from failed transmissions. One transmission specialist described the CVT as a precious snowflake that requires strict, undocumented maintenance procedures just to survive normal driving conditions. Number 7, Dodge Grand Caravan, 2008 to 2013, 2015 to 2016. The Dodge Grand Caravan's transmission problems are so distinctive and recognizable that experienced owners can immediately identify the symptoms over the phone. The characteristic shuddering sensation feels exactly like driving over rumble strips and signals that the 62TE automatic transmission's internal components are systematically destroying themselves through normal operation. The underlying mechanical cause is often a critical design flaw involving an unfastened snap ring that leads to excessive drum wear and metal contamination throughout the transmission fluid system. As metal particles circulate through the system, they accelerate wear on all moving components, creating a cascade of failures that ultimately require complete transmission replacement rather than targeted repairs. Some model years also faced federal safety recalls because the transmission pump could seize completely without warning, resulting in total loss of hydraulic pressure and motive power while driving, a terrifying prospect when hauling a family on the highway. The 2015 to 2016 models faced additional recalls for pumps that could fail suddenly and leave families stranded in dangerous locations without any advance warning symptoms. Number 6. Chevrolet Traverse, 2013 to 2015. The Chevrolet Traverse, equipped with the notorious 6T75 six-speed automatic, represents General Motors' broader transmission engineering failures during this era, when corporate cost-cutting and rushed development schedules created systematic problems across multiple product lines. The most common and recognizable symptom is severe shuddering between 20 to 45 miles per hour that mysteriously disappears under hard acceleration, creating a false sense of security for owners who don't understand the underlying mechanical damage. Owners also report a distinctive skipping sensation during acceleration and hard locks that cause violent jerking motions severe enough to spill coffee and cause minor whiplash injuries. These symptoms indicate that the transmission's internal components are operating outside of design parameters and causing accelerated wear throughout the system. The root causes of these failures are well documented: a fundamentally flawed torque converter design and a weak 3 to 5 R-wave plate that's prone to cracking and complete breakage under normal operating loads. When the wave plate fails completely, drivers immediately lose reverse gear and experience increasingly harsh shifts in all forward gears until the transmission fails catastrophically. Number 5. Nissan Rogue, 2011 to 2012, 2017 to 2019. The Nissan Rogue's CVT problems are so severe, widespread, and well documented that multiple automotive publications have published formal recommendations advising consumers to avoid the model entirely and choose alternatives like the Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V instead. This represents an unprecedented editorial stance against a mainstream vehicle due to transmission reliability concerns. The most common failure mode is complete transmission death due to chronic overheating that occurs during normal driving conditions, with statistical analysis showing that many owners experience total failure around 107,000 miles. Far too early for such an expensive and critical component. What makes this situation particularly cruel and financially devastating is that many owners are still making monthly payments when their transmissions fail completely, and the repair costs often exceed the vehicle's remaining loan balance. Number 4. Nissan Altima, 2013 to 2018. The Nissan Altima's CVT problems became so widespread, systematic, and financially devastating that they sparked a major class action lawsuit specifically targeting the defective transmissions in 2013 to 2016 models. Legal action of this magnitude requires extensive documentation of widespread defects affecting large numbers of consumers, representing thousands of owners who suffered significant financial losses. Federal safety data from NHTSA for the 2016 model year reveals the shocking scope of the problem. Nearly 50% of all consumer complaints concern transmission failures, an unprecedented failure rate for such a critical automotive component. In a properly engineered vehicle, transmission problems should represent a tiny fraction of total complaints, not the dominant issue affecting half of all reported problems. Number 3. Nissan Sentra, 2012 to 2015. The Nissan Sentra's CVT failures represent some of the most catastrophic and dangerous transmission disasters in modern automotive history. Owners report transmissions that fail so violently and suddenly that they leave trails of transmission fluid, metal fragments, and internal components scattered across busy roadways, creating serious hazards for following traffic and requiring immediate emergency cleanup. Even when the transmission is technically functioning, the combination of the underpowered 1.8-liter engine and the problematic CVT creates a driving experience that owners describe as noisy, uncomfortable, and fundamentally unpleasant for daily commuting or highway driving. The system struggles with basic tasks like merging onto highways or climbing moderate hills, suggesting that it was never adequately engineered for real-world driving conditions. Number 2, Ford Focus, 2012 to 2016. The Ford Focus equipped with the PowerShift dual-clutch transmission represents one of the most widespread, well-documented, and legally significant transmission disasters in recent automotive history. These transmissions exhibit constant jerking, shuddering, bucking, and slipping from the moment they leave the dealer lot, creating a consistently unpleasant and potentially dangerous driving experience that never improves with time or repairs. The problems are so severe, consistent, and reproducible that they led to one of the largest automotive class action lawsuits in recent decades, ultimately resulting in a settlement that offered cash payments, extended warranties, and vehicle buyback programs. The existence of this legal settlement serves as official acknowledgement that these transmissions are fundamentally defective and unsuitable for normal use. The dry clutch design that Ford marketed as a breakthrough in efficiency and performance proved to be catastrophically flawed in real-world applications. The system cannot handle normal driving conditions without constant slipping and overheating, leading to accelerated wear and premature failure of critical components. Number 1, Ford Fiesta, 2011 to 2016. Taking the undisputed top spot in our countdown of transmission disasters is the Ford Fiesta equipped with a catastrophically flawed PowerShift dual-clutch transmission. This transmission represents everything that can go catastrophically wrong when a major manufacturer rushes unproven, inadequately tested technology to market in pursuit of fuel efficiency ratings and competitive advantage. The symptoms begin immediately and never improve. Violent jerking that can cause whiplash, constant shuddering that makes smooth driving impossible, unpredictable bucking that can be dangerous in traffic, chronic slipping that prevents normal acceleration, and sudden or delayed engagement that creates hazardous driving conditions in everyday situations like merging onto highways or navigating busy intersections. The problems are so severe, widespread, and consistent that they triggered one of the largest automotive class action lawsuits in American legal history, ultimately costing Ford billions of dollars in settlements, legal fees, and permanently damaged brand reputation. The PowerShift DCT was originally designed to offer the fuel efficiency benefits of a manual transmission combined with the convenience of an automatic system. Instead, it delivered the worst characteristics of both technologies while providing the reliability of neither. The dry clutch design simply cannot handle normal driving conditions, leading to constant slipping, chronic overheating, and accelerated wear that destroys critical components within the first few years of ownership. Ford's repeated attempts at repairs through software updates, component replacements, and revised parts provided only temporary relief because the fundamental design remained catastrophically flawed. But what about the cars that actually last? The ones with legendary engines that made their brands famous and keep running for decades. Find out which power plants are truly bulletproof in my video about 11 legendary engines that made their brand famous.